Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we have an update on the case against the man accused of stalking WNBA star Caitlin Clark. And as we recognize the third anniversary of the July 2022 flood, some folks are preparing to move into their new high ground homes.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and a happy Wednesday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here on this July 30th. We are just about at 5 o'clock this morning, which means it is time for a check of our weather with meteorologist Megan Dusmall. Megan, I was disgusted when I walked out of my home. First, I had to get rid of the spider webs in front of my door. Then it was hot, horrid, disgusting.
Yeah. And not only is it hot, but like you walk outside and you feel wet.
Yep.
It's the worst. And the good news is, while we do have to deal with that one more day, we're going into a drier trend as we head into a weekend. So let's bust down that forecast for you, starting off this morning with that moisture in the air. It's no surprise we are off to a foggy start to the day for some folks out there. So just drive carefully, low beams on if you do encounter any low visibility. And in terms of rainfall, we're nice and clear this morning. We do have some slight chances of some storm activity as you're approaching that Kentucky and Virginia border for the day. All in all, though, a nice and clear day. But here's a look outside, and you'll notice just how thick that fog is in Hazard. Starting to see a little bit of a haze in Pikeville. And that's kind of the trend that we'll continue to see over the next couple of hours. Temperatures sitting in the low 70s, and of course, no surprise here, we're looking at the low to mid 90s as that forecast high as we're approaching into the afternoon hours. The warmest temperatures of the day will be around 4 p.m. We're looking at a mixture of partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. Amelia.
The man accused of stalking WNBA star Caitlin Clark pleaded guilty to stalking and harassment. 55-year-old Michael Lewis was arrested in January. Court documents show he sent Clark threats and sexually explicit images on social media. Lewis was sentenced after entering his plea. He's been in custody since his arrest, so he received credit for time served. He'll spend a little more than 18 months in prison. A Madison County man is facing charges for reportedly stealing from a storage facility multiple times. Richmond police say 47-year-old Randall Algsby was seen on several surveillance photos from several different thefts at Osprey Storage, and that he identified himself in those photos. Algsby told police that he has a unit at the facility that he's been locked out of due to non-payment. He also says he went on a days-long bender of Xanax and doesn't remember doing them. 3 years ago, this week, 45 people lost their lives in deadly flooding that ravaged the Commonwealth. And while a lot has happened in the state since then, first responders tell us they still remember some of the faces from within the waters. Lucy Cole talked to search and rescue crews in eastern Kentucky to learn more about the recovery process 3 years later.
3 years later, what some call a 1,000-year flood leaves lingering memories of the devastation left behind in eastern Kentucky.
The amount of water on Troublesome Creek, which is pretty much where we spent the majority of our time, you couldn't tell it was a creek. I mean, that's normally 2 feet deep, and it was 36 feet deep.
Chief John May and his crew with Wolfe County Search and Rescue recount some of the chilling sights they saw during their response.
We found a couple that was actually, their mobile home was completely underwater minus the roof. They were hanging on to an electrical guy wire in the middle of the, flooded, raging creek.
One face sticks with him forever. Vanessa Baker was the only person left unaccounted for. He says even a year later, they continued to search the area for her. WKYT has followed her husband Farmer's journey for years.
I couldn't have found a better woman, I don't believe. Joe couldn't have.
We covered 21 miles of the North Fork of the Kentucky River plus Troublesome Creek, trying to locate Miss Baker for a family to get some closure. I mean, you want to bring everyone home, but with a flood like that, sometimes it's just not possible.
While days and years have come and gone since July 2022, Chief May remembers eastern Kentucky not for the devastation, but for the resilience.
Even today, I get a little emotional when I start talking about it. It's just, you really see what what people are made of. It really just shows the heart and the strength of, the people in eastern Kentucky, and it's pretty incredible to see.
Lucy Cole, WKYT.
And following that historic and deadly flooding, Governor Andy Beshear established the Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund to support victims. It raised more than $13 million and covered funeral costs, property damage repairs, and new higher ground communities for the people of Eastern Kentucky. And as we recognize this third anniversary of the flood, some folks are preparing to move into their new high ground homes. Letty Sturgill is one of those people. The 87-year-old Knott County native lost her home of nearly 10 years in the 2022 flood. But now she's excited for her new home at the Chestnut Ridge High Ground community. Sturgill says some of her neighbors survived the flood right beside her.
I lost everything they had. I lost everything, even my car. I'm still hitchhiking. So I was happy there.
Sturgill says she might be able to move into her home by Thanksgiving and is excited to celebrate with her family by her side. And we also remember and honor those who have struggled daily, picking up the pieces since that tragedy. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino sat down and spoke with Letcher County native Sharon Howard to see where she is now, 3 years later.
It's an experience you have to experience yourself to know just how deep that goes. It makes you realize what's important in life and what isn't important. And it makes you appreciate what you have.
Sharon Howard moved into her brand new home approximately 3 months ago, just in time to reflect on the 3-year flood anniversary that swept away her Letcher County home and business.
I just thank God every day. I've got a home, a nice home. It's not as big as mine was, but it's fine for me.
A home gifted by Homes Incorporated, partially furnished, and most importantly, safe from floodplains.
Now, if I flood, there won't be no Kentucky. They have got me up here so high.
Still, as she enjoys her new, secure home, memories of that one July remain vivid.
Every time it rains, you worry. You worry that your family's okay, that your neighbors are all right. Every time it rains, it's a nightmare, and you can't keep from remembering.
Despite it all, Sharon leaves her faith in God's hands.
I'm hoping, I don't know how, but God made a way for this, He'll make a way for that. I'll get the roof fixed and get that store going again. I know I'm 78 years old, but that store meant a lot to me. The house could be replaced. The memories in that store can't.
Grateful for where she is today and optimistic about the road ahead. In Letcher County, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
Sharon says although she misses her old neighbors and neighborhood, she's eternally grateful for her new home and to share new memories with her new neighbors. As part of Tennessee and North Carolina are still recovering from Hurricane Helene, Washington is taking a step to cut red tape for communities hit by natural disasters. Senator Marsha Blackburn helped pass the Filing Relief for Natural Disasters Act. This bipartisan act allows the IRS to postpone tax deadlines for people affected by state-declared natural disasters. Previously, this was only for states with federal disaster declarations. An 8.8 magnitude earthquake hit off Russia's coast last night, one of the strongest quakes ever and record and the highest magnitude since 2011. The earthquake triggered a tsunami in the northern Pacific and warnings in Alaska, Hawaii, and other coastal areas around the world. Officials warn that waves could reach up to 10 feet. From New York to Las Vegas, investigators are working to understand Monday's deadly office building shooting in Manhattan. CBS News has obtained images of the suicide note found in the gunman's wallet. In it, he writes, "Football gave me CTE," the brain injury linked to repetitive head injuries suffered in sports, and appears to blame the NFL, writing, "The league knowingly concealed the dangers."
This is the time to stand up and say no more slaughter by a weapon of mass destruction.
The New York City Medical Examiner's Office says the plan to analyze the shooter's brain as part of their autopsy, which we're told is standard procedure. Well, thanks so much for getting your day started with us on Mountain News this morning at 5:09. With some of these extreme temperatures, we have warning signs for you to watch for in order to stay safe in the summer heat.
And the heat will stay with us for one more day, but a cooler trend sets in heading into the weekend.